Hey everyone, this is Big Benedict. We're playing Dead Space 3 on Impossible difficulty. This is Chapter 8. It is entitled... well, the title card didn't come up because I restarted this chapter, as it always does. When you restart a chapter, it doesn't come up. The title card, that is, or the title. It's called Off the Grid, and we're in the ice planet here. So stick close to the fire to make sure that you don't die of, freezing coldness here. Hypothermia is the word I was looking for there actually, but you really aren't in any peril because you're going to have to be going through some the last fight in this level. You have to go through a bunch of enemies and there's no fires anywhere, so this whole fire concept right here, it only plays out just right there. So that's the only part that has the fires. So we're going to have a little scene here with this monster whom I imagine we're going to be fighting soon. So tap X right over here, and once we land we're going to get a checkpoint. I really enjoy this level though. It's a beautiful level. It looks nice, but some of the encounters are rather cheap, and I'll discuss those when they near. Right now we're just looking for other crewmates because we've crash landed.
Are you there?
So you really aren't in any peril, except that last fight in this chapter. You have to go quite a ways and fight a lot of enemies, and you can make it, but you just gotta hurry up. It's the basic premise behind that. So he's looking for Ellie. He's looking for anybody, because we all got separated in the crash. So as you can see here, there are no more fires. But it's not as suspenseful as like the running out of oxygen. It's not like that. It's a little bit more generous, even though I don't know how the time relates to it, if it's like the same amount. But as long as you're not like searching for stuff and you just focus on killing the enemies, you'll be fine. I mean, there was one time that I died, but I wasn't even paying attention to the temperature gauge. And the thing is, there's no way to like the oxygen premise where you can just grab an oxygen tank and refill. You can't. Since there's no more fires, we can't just go near a fire and get warm. So we're going to be getting another suit that'll, I don't know what it's called, but it's another suit so we can brave the cold a little bit better. Here's a checkpoint area up here. So just pretty much follow where the flares are for now. We're going to be going into several rooms that have items. But going into the rooms, that's pretty much getting warm again. It's like a fire. So here's another checkpoint down here, and I believe we're going to be going into the first room. You definitely want to go into all these rooms here. Once you go into a room, though, you're going to have to turn the generator on in each of these rooms. It's very simple. And all the rooms, they'll have items. Some have fewer items than others. Some of them have a pretty good cache of items, though. See, the generator is right over here. I mean, now what does that do? It illuminates the room. I mean, you don't have to turn it on. I mean, you can just get the items. But once we go to the room that has the bench in it, you will need to turn that generator on to light up the room and power up that bench. So grab these items up here, and then we're going to be climbing up this ladder. But yeah, when I first saw that this game was being on I thought it started here. When I first saw that this game was having an ice world, I thought it just started here. But we're pretty deep into the game. We're not, maybe halfway, almost approaching the halfway point. Maybe, I'm not really sure exactly how many chapters there are. So here's another room right over here. And what do we have? Okay, yeah, this is the generator. This is the room with the bench in it. So the generator's right over there. And what do? I did quite a lot of experimenting with crafting weapons over here. So what I did was I put the force gun on the top shaft of one gun, and then I put the line gun on the bottom. I'm just a real fan of the line gun for some reason, and it really hasn't even been working for me, but that's just how stubborn I am with using the line gun. But by far the most powerful weapon in this game, the Seeker rifle, I'm gonna actually have to put that back on. But that was definitely one of my go-to weapons in Dead Space 2. It was awesome. I don't even know why you can't zoom in this. It's ridiculous. As far as like the pulse rifle, I've never been a fan of the pulse rifle. I like the contact beam. I like the contact beam's secondary function more than its first. But these games don't really have that, so. But perhaps they do. I just haven't experimented with it very much. Head over to the right first. Don't go forward because you're going to get a checkpoint. The reason you don't want to go forward is because you want to grab all these items. One mistake I made when I first came to this level was I went up there and then I didn't have enough resources to take on the final battle. And the only way that I could, get enough resources was to backtrack to the bench and craft items, and it just took forever. And then I would die, and it was just a never-ending struggle. So I just restarted the chapter. So here's another room here. I'm gonna turn the generator on. Get a couple. I think we get a new weapon in here. Ammo clip. And compressor. So yeah, that definitely looks like a new weapon. So I'll have to see how that works. Another weapon that I really liked in Dead Space Extraction was the arc welder. That was a good weapon. I would recommend that. Even that's the only first-person Dead Space game that that's the only first-person Dead Space game. It's an on-rails shooter. It's a really good game, even though it's in first-person, and I don't like first-person games very much. So, fight time up here. Stasis, this one guy who's going to jump down here. I took a wrong turn right there, but... okay, so this guy's going to jump down. Now, I have the force gun on. The force gun... I don't think it kills people. All it does is knock them back, which is fine if you want them off your back, but you're going to have something else to kill these guys pretty fast. And I'm going to also have to increase the strength of this plasma cutter. I think I have... you see where it says 14? I think that's the maximum number of rounds you can have in your clip. So remember to always pull those legs off if you can and spear these guys. It's always nice to get an impalement. So one more guy coming. Now this guy, he tends to kind of get stuck behind that right there. So just watch out for him. See how if there's stasis and you're like right next to them, try to reverse with that fast reverse move with the L2 button to try to not get hit. Sometimes you just can't prevent getting hit, but I've actually bought a lot of resources on the microtransactions. I just I don't know. I don't even care about admitting it. Well, watch out for this son of a bitch over here. Not this puker. I am going to be using the bot to get resources, but I just haven't been using it, so I went on the EA server. Watch out for this guy. Real cheap bastard right there, but I used a force gun on him. Then I finished him off with the line gun, which has a special attachment on it. I don't recall what it is exactly, but yeah, I purchased a couple of resources resource packs from the DLC. I just said to hell with it. But I'm not going to be giving myself like so many advantages. Because in a game like this, you could pretty much buy your way out of a jam, and that's not what I want to do. So it's sad that that's the case, but it is. I mean, they should limit it a lot more. Watch out for these guys here. There's going to be one guy who either comes running at you on his hands and knees, or this guy. Got an impalement right there. These guys are very, very fast. Luckily, I backed off quickly enough right there. When I said you can buy yourself out of a GM, I just mean that sometimes the DLC, they'll let you buy one of each thing, like one resource pack, but I think you could buy as many as you want. I guess it's just EA wanting the most amount of money they can, but I'm not going to buy myself out of a GM. That's just ridiculous. I'll just restart the chapter if I have to. And that's actually what I did here. So watch out for this part. It's really cheap. Look how cheap this is. Like, they're going to do that again, too, where they just throw an enemy right behind you. So when you see these guys coming, you see that trail of ice coming towards you, just run backwards. And if you have the force gun, just get them off your back. It's a really good tool. Get these guys off your back. It's just, that's cheap, and I honestly don't remember that kind of cheapness in Dead Space 1 or 2. I know that enemies spawn behind you, but running at you like that so quickly has never really been Dead Space's style. So they're really adopting a cheap style here, which I'm offended by it. But I'm not going to cry my eyes out by it. There also is a puker up here normally, but I don't know where he went. He took a powder. See, the same exact situation. One guy spawns in front of you, one guy spawns behind you. Look how fast these guys are. I'm not complaining. I'm pointing it out. They're very, very fast. And I was in the red here. It's just... here I'm trying to... Maybe the puker does come up here. But I know there's another guy up here who just spawns out of nowhere. See? There he is, right there. Now I'm spacing myself from him, but... You can never run fast enough from these enemies. I thought there was even more guys behind me, but there's just this guy. I personally don't know if there's any more enemies over to the right, but if I were you, you see how I'm almost dead from freezing to death? I need to just get in that building promptly, and that's going to be the end of the video right up here. And then I'm going to see you in the next chapter. It'll be chapter 9. So we're going to reunite with Buckley up here. And that'll conclude this video.